Okay, so coming back to the same topic we discussed here last week also, factors affecting cross-cultural communication, that what are the factors that really create an impact on how we actually do or get into negotiation or start the effective communication. So number one is interpretation of time. So what is interpretation of time? It's like, what kind of cultural orientation the countries have and what kind of uh, cultural orientation we have. Not just in the amount of the time difference that we face with other countries, but also the kind of reaction time that we take in understanding various things. The second factor which affects our communication is interpretation of space. So interpretation of space meaning that when we take a lot of pauses in the discussions that we have in terms of our non-verbal cues that we have to actually spread across to each other. Non-verbal communication in the sense our body language basically. So how you actually have to greet somebody, how you are actually going to understand whether they are really uh, like we discussed 3 4 things last week, which was about physicality, the punctualness, how some countries are really warm and they particularly believe in giving hugs and getting touchy feely. But there are few countries which are not really into that. So that interpretation of space talks about that how much space we have to create between. What is the kind of professional space that we have to keep or distance between two parties. Then the non-verbal communication, because language obviously is a barrier and it creates huge amount of distress on the people who are participating in communication or negotiation. So what is best is to be more dependent on non-verbal communication. But non-verbal communication also depends purely upon that whether you know the culture of that particular country or region really nicely or not. So once you do that, have your background really done properly, your homework has to be done in a nice manner, then you can actually work on your non-verbal communication also. So these three things, if taken into consideration and work properly, can actually remove all the barriers and limitations that we have when we talk in cross-cultural communication. So now let's talk about the barriers that we actually seeing. So it is very much related to the slide which was just before this. It talks about how our national culture creates our perception. So the kind of, so suppose like, in India, what is the kind of national culture that we follow? We were just talking about that country wala thing that, we are emotional people, we are accommodating, we actually accept people around us really well. So that is the kind of perception that we create, and that's the kind of perception people also create for ourselves. So like, you will see a lot of tourists coming into India, get scared that, this is a country where a lot of uh, people cheat, people rape women, this is the kind of impact, we created in the purely because of the media, we created that kind of an image outside India. So that's a perception that people create about you looking into the information or data which is available to them. And similarly, like to us Indians, when we go and talk about other countries, the kind of perception we have for their country. So maybe none of us have gone to US, right? United States. But what is the kind of perception you have for United States? Let's start with Neeru. So Neeru, what is the kind of perception you have for United States?
Ma'am, it's like, yeah, as we are starting from emotions, yes, less emotions country, they are not emotional as we are, and well-developed country. So we can say single families, like concept is there. Okay, we are nuclear family. Sorry, nuclear families concept is there. So I think above 18 years they used to talk to their children, and that they have to now they have to earn and they have to like earn for themselves. So this is a like type of country I heard about that.
Sure. So that's your perception about that country, obviously through various information that we have. So Veena, what's yours?
My impression of US is purely based on all the Hollywood movies that I've seen, where most of the movies I have seen that there is a failed relationship. The children are in one direction, and like that's a general perception. And like what do you say? But there is so much of, what do you say, hope, or wish for a better relationship, and they try to be emotional and all. But as far as job and other things are concerned, they're very professional from what is being shown. I've not interacted as such with US citizens, so I really don't know. But otherwise,
So but
I
that's our
think it's,
perception.
see,
That people-
huh.
Right. So Kulshan, what's yours?
USA is a developed country, and we are developing country. Our country is a developing country. That is, India is a developing country, and in USA people are too confident, and USA nuclear family are the most of the uh, most of the family are nuclear. They did not like joint family, and they are self-dependent. And whenever any teenager become older than 18 years, then after that they will have to become the self-dependent. Their parents did not provide the money from the home.
You see, it's a very general perception. We're falling into the category that they are not really very emotional. The empathy level is less. Families are not really that religious and do not stay together. All these things have come to us purely because of various kind of information that has been put into us. Majority of the time, because we have not dealt with people directly out there, but because we have watched movies, we have watched news, we have seen or heard kind of experience that third person have told us and informed us about that. So that's one kind of perception that we create for different countries. Then is behavior, verbal and non-verbal. So when we actually get into the communication part where we are dealing with people directly, then also we found perception, or we actually start looking into their behavior from the point of view of what is the kind of verbal and non-verbal behaviors they are showing. So that also gives a lot knowledge about their culture, what we follow. Now, both these things, the perception about what kind of country they are and what kind of behavior, verbal and non-verbal, they show, we actually create a lot of barriers in organizations. So it can be organizational barriers, which is large ones, and individual barriers, which is basically talking about one's personal perception about the other person, right? So some of the individual barriers that we start following or that we start developing is conflicting or inconsistent signals, right? Because the kind of perception that we have created for that country and the behaviors then we have seen or followed, then we actually see that uh, the other person is always in conflict, or they are not really reaching out to us, when they are very inconsistent. So these are the things that happens when non-verbal verbal communication doesn't happen in a proper manner. This is the situation when starts developing. Second is lack of credibility. How do we feel that somebody has lack of credibility? Is purely when we do not know about that person and we don't take that much of step in order to understand that other person or culture. So once we actually start getting to know the person, our perception, I am sure you must have felt this many times, that maybe initially you have felt something different for a person or a human being, but over a period of time, when you start to get to know them really well, or your communication has started falling in place properly, you actually start feeling for that person in a different light altogether. It can be from positive to negative or from negative to positive. Sometimes it remains neutral also. So it totally depending upon that what kind of credibility we put in place, what kind of uh, communication steps that we actually take to understand the other party really well. We found we start changing our perceptions also. Third is reluctance to communicate. Like I said, we do not take that much of effort. So we always, even some people are introverts, some people are shy, some people are always in that category where I am not okay and the other person is okay. So these are the people who are always reluctant to communicate, go out and talk. But when you are in a professional setup, and especially when you are getting into cross-cultural setups or into that kind of a category, it is really important that you start removing your some. That is the reason why most of the organization says that no matter as a person, if you are introvert, but your job requires for you to be extrovert, then you have to adapt to that situation. So you have to actually start developing those skills. So I tell you my own example. I was a very, very introvert person till I graduated. But over the period of time when I started moving to my post graduation and getting into job, those 4 or 5 years were actually period of transition where from introvert I actually became completely extrovert because the job required that kind of a thing. You cannot actually go out and take interviews till the time you're not really extrovert yourself. So professionally, I had to follow that particular skill set. I had to start developing those skill set if I have to get into that mode of becoming successful into that category. So that's how, for all every one of us, it is really important that if that reluctance is there, we have to see it as a skill that can be learned and then develop that. And poor listening habits, again, learnable skill. If you do not really are mindful, you're not present fully, mentally आप physically यहाँ बैठे हो, mentally आप कहीं और पर हो या classrooms में बहुत होता है ऐसा. I'm sure यहाँ पर भी ऐसा होता होगा. बहुत ज़्यादा हमारी listening habits are not really वो. Why it happens is because we are always in that state कि I am always okay and the other person is not. When you are in that category or in that particular life position, you always feel कि सामने वाला तो बोलता रह रहा है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Why should I listen? No, I know much more than. And when we reach that stage where we start feeling that I know more and the other person doesn't know more, then obviously our learning stops then and there. So it is always good to follow and develop learning listening skills so that at least you take. So even if from this lecture, you do not have this habit of learning or taking some things, even if we listen to 5 or 10% of the entire lecture, there are chances that all those 5 or 10% of things that you have taken will be really, really helpful for your examination or for your future. Right? So developing right listening skills is really important. Most of us are, if do not follow this particular thing properly or do not train our brain into right manner, we become a very reactive listener, selective listeners. Right? हम react करने के लिए listening करते हैं या फिर हम selective listener होते हैं. जो चीज़ हमें चाहिए हमारे related है या हमारा perception जिसके around बना हुआ है या ज़रूरत की चीज़ है, then we actually start listening those things. Correct? Next is predisposition about the subject. So predisposition about the subject is that you always think that you already know, you have enough information about the subject, you don't really get to involve into that particular subject. Low international experience and cultural sensitivity. Because you don't know any other culture, you don't know about their culture, you have not done your homework properly, so then it creates a lot of barrier. It creates huge amount of barrier in understanding the other communication. Then organizational barriers as a whole. So functional language and language differences, that's very, very self-descriptive, right? A lot of countries have different kind of barriers. In fact, in India also, sometimes we face this particular difficulty that people sometimes get rigid कि हमें अपनी language में बात करना है, we don't want to talk in English, we don't want to learn English. So then it becomes very difficult for us to interact with other people properly. A cultural gap, different perceptions and status of power differences. बहुत ज़्यादा होता है organizations के अंदर और country wide भी, that we always have different kind of perceptions for different people and then our status of power. So India में especially it is very prevalent and countries like India जो जितनी भी उसमें आती हैं उनके अंदर भी ये चीजें होती हैं that your position, your power, your society के अंदर जो आपका position है, that really, really demands actions in a different manner altogether. Then noise and overload. So noise is basically, too much of information overload that is coming. So many things at one stage when it comes in, then obviously it becomes too much of noise and you cannot understand anything. So that has to be taken into consideration. And noise is not just the voice noise. It can be about information. It can be around too many things getting involved at one particular stage when you are getting into negotiation. Hence, your decision-making skills actually falls back, right? So these are the barriers. Now, how we can overcome these barriers? These are the simple strategies. These are 10 strategies that is being followed around the world in cross-cultural communication. That's why I've written CCC because of Bada. So for effective cross-cultural communication, these are the 10 strategies. Number one is ask questions. If if you've not understood anything, ask questions. It's always important for you to know and understand that what the other person is saying is really, really important. Then distinguish perspectives. Every individual has different perspective altogether. And sometimes we actually confuse it with knowledge. And when knowledge and perspective are not meeting each other, it creates a lot of differences. So hence it is really important that you keep your perspective and perceptions aside and take decisions or get into negotiation or communication purely understanding the perspective of other person. So it's a very common saying that most of the disagreements happen because we don't agree to each other's point of view. And people say that because we don't understand each other's point of view, इसलिए हमारी लड़ाई हो जाती है, इससे ना conflicts हो जाते हैं, झगड़े हो जाते हैं. But when we actually start taking decisions from adult ego state, or I am okay, you are okay, then we always take first step in saying that, okay, I don't agree with you, but I am okay to accept that your point of view differs from mine. Simple as that. So people say that, it's a very manipulating strategy, jahan par aap diplomat ho rahe ho, but it's not really that. It actually comes from practicing adult ego state. So today, if somebody actually comes and start getting into argument with me, I don't actually do not really that much of leeway to that person. I come from this perspective that your perspective is perfectly fine, mine is perfectly fine. I am okay that you don't agree with me. So that's perfectly fine. And then so once you actually start into this particular thing, I tell you the same example I was sharing in initially, that Modi wala discussions, So I don't believe in his strategies, philosophies, and some of my friends are purely Modi bhakts. Purely in the sense I can say कि वो मोदी जी उनको घर पे बुलाएंगे तो वो आगे दौड़े चले जाएंगे किसी भी उसमें. So this is the kind of setup they have. So when we have these political discussions or ideological differences, they are also that mature, I'm also that mature, that it has not affected our friendships or our relationships at all. So, in my family also, one of my sister is purely Modi Bhakt. I am not, but it doesn't really affect our relationship because we keep our perspective different from the kind of communication that we have to follow. Right? Third is build self-awareness. So now your self-awareness is really, really important about various topics, about cultures, about knowing how people are actually behaving in different kind of culture. And that can actually help you understand their point of view really, really well. And also you can communicate your point of view really well. So again, both the parties needs to get involved with understanding awareness. Self-awareness. Fourth is recognize the complexities. So you have to understand that in the entire negotiation place where you are, what are the complex features? What are the complexities that your document, that your entire agreement is bringing in? And then going into the details about recognizing and solving those complexities. Avoid stereotyping. So like, Abhi, when we were talking about you and United States, we had some stereotypes in our mind that, we always think that their families are broken, they not really get emotionally involved with people. It may not be correct, but because we have that stereotype thoughts about them, we have not dealt with them directly. So it actually creates a barrier in our communication with them. So in order to have very effective negotiations or communication, stereotyping has to be avoided. Even in India, we have typical stereotypes when we talk about different communities. Right? You want to give some names, examples, dena chahoge? What are the typical stereotypes? Communities,
like
otherwise also.
when we talk about Muslims, so it is like typical stereotypes that they are
Not good people.
totally different.
Correct. They're culturally different, so they are not good people. Right. That's there. That's a stereotype which is there. Veena, you have some example? Gulshan?
North और South के बीच में जो difference है ना,
I know. That's it.
है ना? That's a universal thing. My sister-in-law is from is a North Indian.
Okay. That's always.
But what I have seen is that in the I mean, not talking high about Fauj mein, generally we have seen that this at least we learn to respect the differences, and generally things are maybe a common goal or something. It's that way, it is good.
So that's a stereotype. Gulshan, you have some example of stereotype you have faced?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, whenever I've been to Hyderabad, actually before 1 month ago, then I faced there. Actually, uh, actually here our culture is uh, Bihar
Stereotypes I'm
culture
talking
and
about,
Hyderabad.
culturally. Stereotypes. You understand what is stereotype? See,
Like boys
culturally,
don't cry,
uh,
boys don't
correct.
cry,
Boys don't cry is a
only
very
girls do
typical.
cooking, only girls do cooking.
Girls are
बॉयज
not
को
good in
झाड़ू टच
driving
नहीं करना
cars.
चाहिए.
Technically, girls are
हाँ
not good. Mathematics, girls were not good. So, these are typical
हाँ
stereotypes.
yes yes
Yeah.
हाँ.
So, in order to
Girls are
avoid,
not good drivers, right? Women are not good drivers.
yeah, at some point in time, in fact, this was told to people uh, to take HRM as specialization because it's an office job. So when we were doing MBA, most of the classmates were girls, very few boys. And it was told to them that human resource management is actually very, very good for girls purely because one, they're emotional, and second, it's a very in-house job. So you don't have to travel much. So it's not really marketing and sales. So most of the people
And
used to take that specialization purely. So it's a very major stereotype. And now you see in most of the organization at top level, most of the CHROs are women. There are very few women.
and also about civil engineering once upon a time. Now things would have changed.
Even
Otherwise,
now,
civil engineering.
civil
Uh,
mechanical engineering still full of boys. I remember when
I
I was
think
taking a lecture in one of the universities, there was only one girl in mechanical engineering. Rest of them were boys. So they have a subject on effective communication. So I was taking that lecture, and I was really, really aghast. Mechanical is only one girl, and there were 35 boys in that class. So this is a
yeah,
very
earlier
typical.
it was for forces also, na, okay, like women
Courses अब जाके
usually.
change हो रहे हैं. They are opening
Yes.
up now.
but
Veena, I'm
but
sure.
still, still we are not. We are told at combat,
Hmm.
but definitely forces training is different. Like that sort of like NDA and all. There will be a huge impact on our social system when women become rigid.
Yeah.
Military training it becomes very disciplined, and as far as family life is concerned, it's going to be tough.
I know I've seen that. My father always wanted me to get married to a defense personnel only because he had seen that life, but it did not happen. None of his daughters got married to defense personnel. So it actually creates different kind of. So when we see that difference, how our upbringing was when we were in army, we used to travel with him, and now in other household, how the discipline and punctuality and other things are taken. So it creates a barrier for sure, even now. Right? So these are these
Actually, ma'am,
stereotypes. Yeah, Gulshan.
when I before some time ago, ma'am, whenever ma'am I did watch the interview of Sushant Singh Rajput. Then actually he was telling whenever I did take admission in the DTO, okay, in the mechanical engineering. Then at that time in my branch there is no any girls,
Yeah. So that's a
and most
stereotype
of the
because
girls are in the CSC branch.
yeah,
Actually, then he told actually in his class there is no any girls. That's why he joined the dance classes because in dance classes more and more girls are
they would
available.
get
That's
involved.
why.
So
Yeah.
that's what, everybody needs co-education. That's the reason why they're doing it. So imagine Hamara result, which comes for 12th classes, right? So 12th and 10th, you will see that since I don't know how many years, girls are topping. And there are only the girls toppers and girls results is much better than boys, right? No matter. I think it started from 95, 96. Since then till now, I have never seen boys doing better than girls. And it's not just in humanities and commerce, it is in science also. So when girls are actually doing so well during their schooling in STEM, the science and technology and mathematics and all, why they are not actually choosing those courses outside is purely because of these stereotypes. Right? Parents actually tell them not to follow that particular thing. IITs के अंदर there are very less women. Imagine they actually get scores like 99%, 98% these days, so ऐसी percentages है. and still they cannot get into IIT. I think it's really, really difficult to digest. So it's purely about the stereotypes that creates that differences, that girls can't do better in STEM. And that is the reason the entire world, it's not just in India, it's in the entire world. The entire world is facing that deficiency where the cultural barriers is creating too much of diversity barriers also. Then coming to the next point, which is respect differences. So it's like, when there is another party involved, it is quite similar to distinguished perspective. So it's like, when you acknowledge that somebody can have difference of opinion, their point of view can differ from you, then you actually start taking decisions from adult ego state, so that ego state is developed. I'm okay, you're okay, thing is developed. So you are actually falling into the right kind of a category, and you start respecting differences with mutual respect, following for each other. Then listen effectively, actively. So listening, as I said, creates pure communication. It's listening that should be there properly. If listening is not happening in a proper manner, both the parties are talking at one point in time, you will see that it creates too much of confusion, too much of noise is being created, too much of distraction is being created. So it's important when two parties are getting involved, especially from cross-cultural background, listening plays very important role because language is barrier, and hence you have to put more listening, you have to do more listening from non-verbal cues, understanding non-verbal cues. Yes, Neetu.
Now, what is the difference between like listening actively or listening to respond?
See, sometimes, as I said, we do reactive or selective listening. So reactive listening is कि जब हमसे कोई question पूछ रहा है and we get yeah okay question आने वाला है, so we start listening to that person. Right? Selective listening is that जहाँ पर हमारा कुछ हमें सुनाई दे जाए कि हमारे टॉपिक से रिलेटेड है, या हमारा अनकॉन्शियस माइंड कॉन्शियसली उस चीजों को वो देने लगे जहाँ पर हमारा इंटरेस्ट लेवल बनता है, राइट? So that is the thing. Most of the time we do hearing. Hear things, but we actually are not listening. That means our awareness about the entire topic
Not
or our
getting those, not getting
experiences,
those
yeah,
things,
is not getting developed into the mind properly. And hence we start actually giving reactions from the point of view of a parental ego state or child ego state without listening. So major communication problems or transactional problems that we showed last week in that slide, जहाँ पर हम सवाल कोई और कर रहा है, आंसर कहीं और से आ रहा है, that happens purely because we don't listen actively. So listening actively is like, focusing on one thing. Mindfulness has to be there. And it only comes, the only way of doing listening actively is getting into silence mode. So if in the entire day, you're getting very few minutes for yourself into silence, where you're actually following pure silence in your mind, not just in your room, then only you can become a very good listener. Otherwise, you will never become a very good listener. So meditation plays very important role in listening actively. You will see that most of the people who actually meditate or follow mindfulness are really, really much better communicators. Their communication skills are very, very good developed, right? Because they have become self-aware.
Yeah, ma'am, sometimes it's like, yeah, we want to be our self like on silence mode, and it's like the thought process is going on. So how can we keep our minds
Let them go.
silent?
Close your mind. Best is let the person speak. So it's important that the other person has to take out. So sometimes, people, majority of the time, we are into times right now, so much of frustration, stress, anxiety is developing in every human being, is purely because of the same thing, that there is no silence that we have in our life. We don't take pauses. You will see in corporates, in other organizations, everybody is actually running after something or the other. Majority of the time, it is money. And people actually start realizing कि money important नहीं है तब जब उनके पैर कब्र में होता है. I mean they are actually dying. Then they realize कि हाँ regrets है, मैंने वो काम नहीं किया, I have not done that, I could have done that, I could have got involved with more people. Different kind of. So our regrets start developing during the stage when we actually see that our life is going to end in 10 years, 5 years, whatever. So that realization comes then. But imagine if you have that realization right now, or from the age when you start getting involved into corporates, and the people are doing that. So many entrepreneurs who are getting into sorry, not self, which sector it is? Social sector, social development sector. They are actually bringing NGOs and technologies to help people in society. So these are the people who have become mindful so early in their lives. So they know that only money making and profitability is not going to give them that stance in their life, which the recognition that they have always looked for. So this recognition, this fame, all these things can come up when you can do so many good things about society also. So that is the reason why they actually start getting into social development sector where they are finding solutions to help society, which is like NGOs coming out to help them. बना रहे हैं मतलब बहुत सारी NGOs हैं ऐसी. You will see there is a friend of mine who is doing it in UP. So what she has done is Karigar उसने करके company खोली है. So what she does in Karigar is she has given a lot of employment to women who develop things from their hands. The handcrafts. So they have opened up shops, online systems, everything. So all these things they are giving actually self, what do you call it? There are two ways of doing kindness. One is कि आपने one time किसी को feed कर दिया and then you're done. And the other way of doing kindness is that you develop something for them so that they become self-dependent on things. So self-dependence mode is longer. That kind of a kindness and compassion can actually give results. So social sector coming from this particular point of view that your kindness can go into this, that you develop a self-running system for them, and so they can feed for themselves and their families can. So many people, many organizations are doing it for red lights areas also, for the prostitutes who were facing difficulty. Because last 2 years, Corona may people have been talking about various difficulties about migrants and other things, but we never talked about what kind of problems these people faced who were actually feeding their families purely by selling themselves, their bodies. What used to happen is there was a guy who did a documentary on those people. He created that documentary and he said कि उन लोगों को इस मजबूरी में आना पड़ा कि only for 20-25 rupees they were selling their bodies. So they had to actually got involved into that stages. So social development sector, when it works to an extent where these people, these category of people are actually feeding for themselves without getting too much of जैसे organizations run करती हैं. So similarly, so you actually open up self-employment schemes for them, give them that kind of technical skills or semi skills so that they can start learning different kind of things. So next is be honest. So honesty obviously creates when you don't listen to something or you don't show that you're honest to the other party who's involved into negotiation, obviously it creates barriers. So it's really important that when you're dealing with the other party, it is really important that you put out all the facts and figures very openly. So your intentions has to be clear as well as your facts and figures has to be very clear. Imagine you're hiding some point and the other party is also hiding some point in the agreement. Or future में जाके आपको पता चले. So that dishonesty might create even much more problems in the future, not just cost related or profitability related, time related, but otherwise also people actually stop doing business with that country for a longer period of time. So that is really important that in dealings in cross-culture communication, honesty really plays really good role. Flexibility. Again, flexibility is like same thing, respect differences and perspectives and perceptions. So you have to become very flexible in your approach in terms of dealing with people. So rigidity will not really play a very important role when we are doing communication. So, I am okay and you are okay is a win-win situation, right? So in order to reach win-win situations, some minor adjustments and compromises, which both the parties happily can do, should be talked about. So alternative solutions we need to talk about all the alternative solutions where we are doing little bit of compromises, but we are actually reaching a stage which is giving maximum profits and cost and reducing time and energy for every one of us. So flexibility really plays very important role then. Suppose any party gets rigid that I am okay and you are not okay, or you are okay, I am not okay. So these kind of situations is like very rigid situations. You can never come out of these situations. That hopelessness, helplessness will always remain, or angry, rigidness will always remain. Then think
It
twice.
affects your dealing in future also.
Sorry?
Ma'am, it affects that rigidness, it affects your dealings in future also, because when you are future, if you want to deal with the same organization or the person,
Correct.
so yes, your past experience will affect that.
Absolutely. So most of the people feel that, when they work in one organization for longer period of time, sometimes they feel कि company को छोड़ के जाने से relationship बनाने से कोई फायदा नहीं होता है, So they just leave the organization without fulfilling notice period or without following the entire things that is being asked for them. But they don't see that in future also you might need references from that organization. Sometimes you actually have to get into the project with that organization. So this flexibility in terms of maintaining relationship is really important. It actually tells you what the person, that person is involved into what, whether in actually creating a relationship for future or just for right now, short period, making money. So that mindset has to change. Next is think twice. So whenever you are talking with different culturally people, you always think twice so that you don't actually create social faux pas. Because what happens is a lot of mistakes generally happen when we are not aware about each other's culture. So in order to avoid that, it is always good that whatever steps you are taking, you always cross-check that, cross-check with lots of facts and figures, understand the culture, get to know it again and again, maybe ask questions again. So, so that you are actually taking particular steps in proper manner. These are the things we discussed last time, which is coming from the same slide that we discussed just now. So do your homework about the culture, show respect that culturally we are different, be aware about how we perceive each other's culture, it's really important. Find ways to bridge the cultural gap. 100% it is not really valid, but sometimes when the companies are getting into long-term mergers and acquisition, then these things has to be incorporated. So they actually take a lot of sensitivity, cultural sensitivity training or communication trainings where they actually talk about this particular thing. Understand the expectations for negotiation process. You have to understand that what are you getting involved into. That entire process has to be very, very clear to both the parties because two different parties are coming from two different sectors culturally and hence their expectations has to match. Speak slower, avoid fancy language, keep it simple. Self-explanatory. Pay attention to potential gender dynamics. Right? Gender, एक तो culturally different, फिर generally different. हमारा point of view, how we have to treat each other's women, how we have to treat each other's children, and other things. It's really important to create, have that knowledge. Like when people come to India, they generally do not hug and things. In some countries, it is really, really open to hug each other when you are working together. But in India, it is not really taken that way. अभी तो चलो develop हो रहा है, but earlier it was really, really a hindrance. Pay attention to if you sense confusion, always clarify. अब जैसे हमने बोला कि think twice and ask questions is really important. So whenever you have a misunderstanding about anything, you can see that you have even a slighter doubt. It's always good to confuse.